Hello friends, this is Rohit. Welcome to the video series of Ultimate PHP Programming course. Friends, if you are visiting this channel first time, please subscribe this channel and hit the bell icon for getting the notifications of latest video from this channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss concepts from chapter number 1, that is expression and control statements in PHP. Okay, so in last session basically we discussed the prerequisites for PHP and web development. Okay, so if you miss the last video, please go and watch last video so you will get idea about basics of web and PHP related concepts. Okay, so our first chapter is expressions and control statements in PHP. Okay, so what we are going to discuss within this chapter, so first of all we will discuss the history and advantages of PHP. Followed by that we will discuss the fundamental concepts, variables, data types, expressions, operators, constants. Then we will understand different decision making control statements, if else, switch. Okay, then followed by that at last we will understand various looping or iterative control statements. So here we will understand for loop, while loop, do while loop, for each loop. Okay, so this chapter basically introduces the fundamental concepts of PHP. Okay, so first of all we will try to understand now history and advantages of PHP. Okay, so as we have discussed in the last session, you should be aware about these three web technologies before working with PHP: HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, so regarding HTML, we know that it is used for designing web pages. So this HTML language consists the predefined tags which are used for defining the page structure, and we save this file with extension .html. So basically with this we can create static web pages. Okay, so where contents of web pages are fixed, they do not change as per the user section. Okay, so HTML is fundamental thing for web application development. Okay, then followed by that you have CSS, cascading style sheet. So the CSS is used for defining the style for web elements. So if your web page consists multiple elements, okay, and you want to control the style of each individual element separately more efficiently, then basically you can use this CSS. Okay, so basically CSS files having extension .css, cascading style sheet, and this file will consist rules, okay, that will define the style for web elements. So you can define styles for your text, images, okay, videos, whatever web page element you have, for all that elements you can define the styles. Okay, so basically rules you need to specify within CSS file. So your browser will display the HTML page as per the rules that are defined within CSS file. Okay, so you can embed CSS file within your HTML file, or you can link CSS file to the HTML file, or there is one more way to define the CSS. So that way is you can directly define style for each individual element, that is inline style sheet. Okay, so all that things you should be aware about. Then followed by that JavaScript you should be aware about. So JavaScript is basically client side scripting language. So JavaScript is used for making web page dynamic, responsive, okay, dynamic, responsive, because with HTML you cannot create responsive web pages. So in order to make them responsive, you can use JavaScript code within your HTML. Okay, so JavaScript is one of the most widely used client-side scripting language. So core JavaScript knowledge is not enough nowadays. So with core JavaScript knowledge, you should also aware about different JavaScript frameworks. Okay, so jQuery may be there. Okay, AngularJS may be there. So Node.js may be there. So all different JavaScript frameworks also you should aware about. So then and then only you will be able to use PHP effectively. So with only PHP it is not possible to develop web applications. So with PHP you must be already know, or you must be already equipped with all these technologies: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. All these are fundamental technologies for creating web applications. Okay, so this is not only for PHP. You go with JSP, you go with ASP. So in order to create web applications, you must be equipped with all these technologies. Okay, so remember, HTML, CSS and JavaScript, at least we should be aware about basics. Okay, then and then only we will be able to create web applications in PHP. Okay, now what is PHP? So PHP stands for PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. Okay, this is the full form of PHP. So P stands for PHP, H stands for hypertext, and this P stands for preprocessor. Okay, and PHP is most widely used open source server side scripting language. Okay, so it is most widely used, it is open source, and it is server side scripting language. So why it is most widely used? Because it is free. Okay, it is freely available, it is not a proprietary software, so you can use it for commercial development as well. Okay, then it is open source, so you can download PHP code and you can customize this PHP code as per your requirement. Okay, and it is server side scripting language, means the PHP code is executed on server. Okay, so we need Apache server for executing PHP code, because our browser is not able to understand the server side code. Okay, so whenever we will try to open any PHP file within our web browser, so our web browser simply forward request to the web server. Okay, where PHP parser will be available, and that PHP parser basically execute our PHP file. Okay, so friends, if you are struggling with understanding this scripting language, server side scripting language, so you simply watch the first lecture in this series. You will completely understand what do you mean by server side, what do you mean by client side. All basic concepts you will be able to easily understand. Okay, then PHP scripts are executed on server. Okay, so reason is what? Our browser is not capable to interpret our PHP code, so we simply forward the PHP file request to the web server. So web server will consist PHP parser, which will execute our code line by line basis. Okay, so PHP uses interpretation. Okay, so as per interpretation, the PHP code is executed line by line basis, so it executes at runtime. Okay, exactly opposite to the compilation. And next, PHP is free to download and use. As I told, it is not a proprietary software, so you can download and you can use it for commercial project development as well, free of cost. So all small scale industries, okay, small scale IT companies are basically using PHP for their web application project development. Why? Because they don't have to pay to anyone, they can freely use PHP. and PHP is easy to learn, and deployment of web application is that much of easy as compared to other technologies. Okay, so if you are having idea about programming, if you are familiar with C++, okay, Java, then very easily you can understand and learn PHP language. Okay, so that's why all small scale industries are preferring PHP language or PHP technology over the other technologies. Okay, so PHP is amazing and powerful language. Now why it is amazing and why it is powerful, so you can understand the WordPress, okay, the biggest blogging system, so it is basically created using PHP. Okay, so the core of this WordPress is totally written within PHP language. Okay, next, you know, the largest social networking site, that is Facebook. So Facebook is also initially written within PHP. Okay, so later on they developed their own technologies. Okay, but initially Facebook was developed using PHP language. Okay, and it is easy for beginners to learn this server side scripting language. Okay, that's why PHP is amazing and PHP is popular. Okay, so let's try to understand some more facts about PHP. So first thing is, PHP is server side scripting language. So why it is server side scripting language? Because our browser is not capable to interpret our PHP code. Okay, so simply we forward the request of PHP file to the web server where PHP parser is available. So whenever we request or whenever we try to open any PHP file, it is forwarded to the web server. Web server invokes the PHP parser, and PHP parser basically interpret our PHP file. So after interpretation, it returns result in normal HTML to the browser. Okay, so scenario is basically like this. See here, so here you have your client or browser where you have .php file. Okay, so in order to execute this PHP file, we forward request to the Apache web server. Okay, Apache web server. Now this Apache web server consists PHP parser. Okay, so this request is first of all forwarded to Apache server, then Apache server invokes the PHP parser. Now here actually the processing is done, the parsing of PHP code is performed, okay, by PHP parser. So name of PHP parser is php.exe. This is the name of PHP parser. Okay, so Apache invokes this php.exe in order to parse our requested PHP file. Then PHP parser executes and it parse our PHP file. Okay, it interpret our PHP file, and then it return result in normal HTML to our browser. Why it return result in normal HTML? Because our browser can display HTML tags, our browser can interpret our HTML language. Okay, that's why PHP parser always return result in normal HTML. This is how basically the execution of PHP happen. Okay, that's why it is called server side scripting language. Okay, so in one sentence we will say that to execute PHP code we need to communicate with the server. That's why it is called server side scripting language. Our client is not having capability to execute our PHP code, so simply it forward request to the appropriate server. Now by default Apache server do not support PHP parsing. By default Apache server do not support PHP parsing. We need to explicitly configure Apache server for parsing PHP files. So for that we need to go to the configuration file of Apache, that is httpd.conf. Okay, now within this configuration file we need to set the path of our PHP software where our PHP parser is available. Then and then only Apache server will be able to invoke our PHP parser. Okay, so this is the reason why PHP is called server side scripting language. Okay, the next thing, PHP can be used for development of static websites as well as dynamic websites, or you can create web applications as well. Okay, now here the thing we need to understand, what is difference between website and web application. Okay, so website basically do not consist additional features. Okay, they just use for displaying information. Whereas on the other side, web applications may consist some additional functionalities for user. Okay, like user can log in, user can log out, user can search for information, he can add certain data, means he will be able to perform certain task, okay, with help of web applications. Okay, that are basically web applications. So where some additional functionalities may be available which are not available on websites. Okay, so web application may consist okay, so web application may consist some additional features as well as compared to websites. So PHP can be used for development of static websites, they can be used for development of dynamic websites, or they can be used for development of web applications as well. Okay, so static websites means where contents will not get changed, pages will not be responsive. Okay, in dynamic websites, content of web page may get changed, web pages may be responsive, so they may respond to the user's actions. Okay, contents may be generated on the fly. Okay, or we can use it for web application development as well, so where we will add some additional functionalities as well which user can use for performing certain task. Okay, and these web applications will be hosted on the web. Okay, they will be globally accessible. Okay, so next thing we have, PHP script can be only interpreted on server that has PHP installed. So already we have discussed, in order to execute PHP code we need a server, and server needs PHP parser. So whenever we will have PHP software, then and then only we will have PHP parser, because PHP parser is a part of PHP software. So whenever you will have PHP software installed, then and then only you will be able to interpret PHP code on web server. Okay, then next we have PHP file contains PHP tags and its file extension will be .php. Okay, now here what I will tell you, the extension of PHP file is .php. Okay, and where to save our PHP files? So we need to save our PHP files within the root directory of server. Every server has a root directory. Now what is root directory? So root directory is like a normal folder on a web server, but what is specialty here? So whenever we will request any web page, first of all server look that web page within the root directory. Okay, so for example, if we use Apache server, then root directory will be htdocs. Htdocs will be the name of root directory for Apache web server. Okay, so where we will save our file, we will save our PHP file within htdocs directory, within root directory. So whenever you will request your .php file, so request will be forwarded to web server. Web server first of all find our file within root directory, that is htdocs. So if our PHP file is located within htdoc, it will forward it to the PHP parser, and PHP parser will parse our requested file, and then PHP parser will return result in normal HTML. Okay, so if you try to use different software stacks for executing PHP code, you may have different names for these root directories. Okay, so for example, if you use easy PHP, then your root directory will have name www. Okay, so if you go to some another PHP stack, you will have certain different name, but concept will be same. All your PHP files, all your web application files, you have to save within root directory of a server, within root directory of a server. Okay, and in case of Apache, it is htdocs. In case of easy PHP server, it is www. In case of WAMP, you may have www root. Okay, so for different softwares there will be different name for root directory. Okay, so while hosting your web application on some hosting platforms like GoDaddy or Hostinger, there will be also root directory where you will put your PHP application. Okay, so it will be globally accessible to the other people. Okay, so understand, you need to save your PHP files within the root directory of your web server. Okay, so then and then only your web server will be able to locate your files. Friends, you can also save your files on some another location other than this root directory, but what the thing, you need to tell your web server explicitly that please go and find out the requested file within the whatever location you want. Okay, so that setting you need to do in the configuration file. Okay, so if you don't want to do that setting, simply put your files within the root directory of your web server. Okay, next thing, popular websites like Facebook, Yahoo, Wikipedia, all these websites are developed using PHP language. Okay, so you know that how much large and complex these websites are, how much daily data these websites handle. Okay, so PHP also used for creating such kind of large and complex websites as well. Okay, or you can create very simple application as well with PHP website. Okay, it totally depend on you. Okay, so next thing, what is scripting language? Okay, so already in the first lecture we have discussed this scripting language. Okay, so PHP is one of the most widely used server side scripting language. Okay, so scripting languages are basically the languages which are interpreted, okay, which are executed at runtime, okay, whose execution is carried on line by line basis by our interpreter. Okay, so this script is basically set of programming instructions, you can say, that are interpreted at runtime, exactly opposite to the compilation process. Okay, so the scripting languages are the languages that interprets the script at runtime during execution, not before. Okay, so scripts are usually embedded within other software environments. Okay, so for example, you have a JavaScript, so you can embed the JavaScript within HTML. for performing, for example, validation task, for adding responsiveness to the web pages. Means scripts can be embedded within another environment for performing certain task. In the same way, PHP server side scripting language means what? We can include PHP language into HTML as well. We can embed PHP into HTML as well. Okay, so as we discussed that in order to create web applications we need to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, so means here we are embedding JavaScript and HTML within the another environment. That so here we are embedding JavaScript and PHP into another environment, that is HTML, into another platform, into another language, that is HTML. Okay, that is what basically the scripts are. So we write certain set of instructions that can be included within another language, okay, another environment, in order to perform certain small task. Okay, so scripts play a small role within very large web application, you can say. Okay, so scripts are basically lightweighted. They consist only basic fundamental features. They consist only fundamental features, basic features, okay, which can be used for writing script and which can be used within another environments. Okay, so PHP is scripting language as well as PHP is programming language. Okay, so PHP can be embedded within another environment, or you can create web applications, or you can create standalone applications with PHP as well. Okay, so that is basically what scripting language. Okay, so the scripting languages are embedded into other software environments. Okay, and server side scripts are basically executed on server, whereas client side scripts are basically executed on client. Okay, because client is able to interpret it, that's why. And in case of server side, client can't interpret it, that's why it simply forward request to the server. Okay, so next to that, PHP is server side script that is interpreted on server, whereas JavaScript, which is client side script, and it is interpreted on client browser. Our web browser itself is able to interpret our JavaScript files. Okay, so both PHP and JavaScript can be embedded within HTML pages. Okay, so in upcoming lectures we will try to understand how we can embed PHP and JavaScript within HTML files. Okay, so let's try to understand the difference between programming language and scripting language. So programming languages consist all features, okay, that are required to develop complete web applications. As I told, they are full-fledged. In other side, you have scripting languages which consist only basic features. They are not full-fledged, okay, and they are used for performing routine tasks. Okay, they are lightweighted in terms of feature. Okay, then in case of programming languages, the code is to be compiled, okay, before execution. Okay, we need to compile their code, compilation process we need to invoke. In case of scripting, you can directly execute without compilation, that is, code is executed at runtime. Okay, line by line it is executed. Okay, then you don't have to embed these programming languages into other languages. Okay, because they are full-fledged itself, no need to embed them into other software environments. But in case of scripting languages, usually we embed them within other software environments for performing certain tasks. Okay, then examples of programming languages are C, C++, Java, PHP. Okay, and in case of scripting language, you have PHP, Perl, Python, JavaScript, VBScript. All these languages comes under the category of scripting language. Okay, so this is what the difference between programming language and scripting language. So what important thing you will remember here, that scripting languages are lightweighted, consisting basic features only, whereas programming languages are full-fledged, consisting all features for creating web applications. Okay, and scripting languages uses interpretation, whereas programming languages uses compilation. Okay, an example you try to remember, in case of programming language you have C, C++, okay, whereas in case of scripting you have PHP, Perl, Python, all these languages. Okay, now next thing, whether PHP is right language, we will try to ask this question, whether PHP is right language. So let's try to go through certain facts based on which we will decide whether PHP is right language or not. So first thing is, I will try to zoom it somewhat so you will be able to see this. See the first thing here, PHP is open source and it is free, so you can freely download, install and start using it. Okay, so it is free, it is open source, so you can use it for commercial project development as well without paying any single rupees to anyone. Okay, as well as PHP having large community support, so very easily you can get community supports for your problems as well. Okay, so you can download PHP code, you can customize it, you can add new features. Okay, you can modify PHP software as per your requirement. Okay, this freedom you will get with PHP. This is the first thing. Now second thing, it is very simple and easy to understand in context of syntax. Already I told you, if you are having programming background, if you are a computer IT student, so already you might have idea about what is programming, C, C++ languages. Okay, so it will be very easy for you to learn the PHP language as it is influenced from C, C++ languages. So all syntax semantics you will find similar to C, C++ languages, only somewhat difference will be there, but majority of concepts will be as it is. As well as the learning curve of this PHP language is smaller as compared to other scripting languages like ASP, JSP. Okay, so it will be very easy for you to learn the concepts of PHP. Okay, next thing is, it is cross platform. So cross platform means you can easily develop and deploy your PHP code or project to almost all major operating systems including Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Then next is, all popular web hosting services supports PHP. Okay, so if you want to host your PHP web application on any web hosting service provider, you can easily do that with very cheaper rate as compared to other languages, as compared to other technologies. Then next, all popular content management systems like Drupal, Joomla, so you can develop websites, web applications very easily. Okay, and the last thing we have, in order to create static as well as dynamic web pages, performing file handling operations, sending emails, accessing and modifying browser cookies, working with sessions, all these things you can do with PHP. Okay, so you can create full-fledged web application using PHP because it has all features that are required. Okay, so based on these facts you can decide whether PHP is right language or not to learn, whether PHP is right language to invest time or not. Okay, so now let's try to understand different applications of PHP. Okay, where PHP is useful, what you can do with PHP. So you can create web applications using PHP. So for example, social networking sites like Facebook, Dig, blogs like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, e-commerce websites like OpenCart, Magento. Okay, so all such kind of applications you can create with PHP. Then next, file handling. So you can design applications in PHP which will work with files. So they can upload files, they can copy files, rename files, creating files, deleting files, all fundamental operations on files you can perform using PHP. Okay, next thing, you can work with sessions, cookies. Okay, so for web application it is necessary to track user. Okay, it is necessary to know the preferences of user, so we will be able to serve them in best manner. So for that you can use sessions, cookies, and PHP has support for that. Okay, so you can track user, you can save their preferences using sessions and cookies in PHP. Okay, next thing, you can send emails using PHP. So building email application with PHP will be very easy because PHP provides a robust email sending function which will be used for sending emails. Then you can handle database applications. Okay, so if your application needs to store certain data, okay, they can use database for storing it. So PHP can communicate with database very easily because PHP has support for all major leading database vendors including MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL, Sybase, Informix, DB2, PostgreSQL. Okay, so all databases you can use with PHP. Okay, but PHP is really shines with MySQL, as MySQL is open source and most widely used relational database management system. Okay, so these are all applications of PHP language. Okay, then look at these some popular websites that are created using PHP language. Okay, so if you try to talk about social sites, you will have Facebook, you will have Dig. If you try to see the blogs or CMS websites like content management systems, you will have WordPress, Joomla, Drupal. Okay, if you try to talk about e-commerce websites, you will have PrestaShop, OpenCart, Magento. All these frameworks are available which are written within PHP. Okay, and other websites like you have Yahoo, Wikipedia, Flickr. Okay, so lot of leading websites are created and they are written with help of PHP language. Okay, so next thing, we will try to understand the history of PHP, how PHP got evolved till now. Okay, so initially the development of PHP language was started in 1994. So the father of PHP is Rasmus Lerdorf, who invented PHP language. So the development of PHP was started in 1994. Okay, so when Rasmus Lerdorf wrote several common gateway interface programs in C language for managing his personal home page where he has uploaded his resume and personal details. Okay, so he called the implementation of all this CGI script as a personal home page form interpreter. Okay, this was the initial name of PHP. What was initial name? Personal home page form interpreter. Okay, so initially PHP was stood for personal home page. Okay, that is PHP. Okay, so he was trying to manage his personal home page using all these scripts. Okay, so he given name to all this group of script as a personal home page form interpreter. Okay, so in 1995, after 1 year, so PHP FI could be used to build the simple dynamic web applications. So using the same set of scripts, they were able to build simple and dynamic web applications. Okay, so to accelerate the bug reporting and improving the code, the Rasmus Lerdorf initially announces the release of our PHP FI as personal homepage tools version 1.0. Okay, so in 1995 he announced the PHP FI version tools 1.0. Okay, so in 1997 they announced the second version of PHP FI tools. After months of efforts, they released the next version of PHP FI, that is second version. Okay, in 1997. Then in 1998, Ziv Sirosky and Andy Gutman, so these two persons rewrote the parser of PHP. Okay, they return the new parser from scratch for PHP. Okay, and they specify the name of next version of PHP as PHP 3. Okay, as well as they change the name of PHP from personal homepage form interpreter to PHP hypertext preprocessor. Okay, so the name PHP hypertext preprocessor was given in 1998. Okay, so afterwards public testing of PHP 3 began and the official launch actually got within 1998. Okay, so after 1998, in 1999 again the Sirosky and Gutman then started the new rewrite of PHP's core. Okay, and they produce the Zend engine in 1999. As well they founded the Zend technologies in Israel. Okay, then in 2000 they released the next version of PHP, that was PHP 4, that was powered by Zend engine 1.0. Okay, then in 2004 they released the next version, that was PHP 5. Again it was powered by Zend engine, but there its version was Zend engine 2. Okay, so PHP 5 was introduced with new feature called object oriented programming. So the approach OOP was included within PHP, and since from PHP 5 we had support for all OOP concepts with PHP. Okay, so all leading frameworks of PHP are based on OOP approach. Okay, then in 2015 they announced the PHP 7. Then in 2020 PHP 8 was released, and in 2021 the next release is planned, that is PHP 8.1. Okay, this was the short history of PHP. So for this lecture we will stop here. We will try to understand the variables, constants, data types, expressions in the next lecture. Friends, if you find this video useful, please like and share this video. I will see you in next video. Thank you for watching.